How's it going, everyone? My name's MyReactions. I'm doing this live on Twitch at twitch.tv/MyReactions. I'm going to be doing an anime character tier list of my favorite characters in each anime I've watched thus far. I'm going to be probably going through animes A through E, that start with the letter A through E, that I've watched thus far, and I'm going to pick my favorite character in each show, and then I'm going to rank them on a tier list. This will probably end up being multiple parts because it's going to take a while to go through all of them because I started watching anime a little bit over a year ago, and I just like to rank my favorite characters from S to F, as you'll see right here. I'm going to go through each anime I watch. I'm going to say what the anime is. I will timestamp them just to make sure that nobody wants to be spoiled, perhaps, if they're watching it. It's going to be timestamps, so I'm going to timestamp the anime and the character. Here are the various characters on the bottom. You can look at them ahead of time, but I'm going to start from the very first one, work my way to the right, and then continue going on. If I rank two characters, obviously in the same group, the one that is on the farther left will be the one I like more in that category. However, I'm going to save that to last. I'm just going to put them in the category, and then I'm going to order them or categorize them as such in that category. The first character in this tier list will be Touma Kamijou, right here, from A Certain Magical Index. I enjoyed the whole series, the Certain Magical Index, Certain Scientific Railgun. I think it's called Tuaru is one word. I watched all the whole series, including the movie, the 3 series, which is why you see these three characters here. I like the main character in each one. I'm going to start with Touma. I actually got into this series from watching a Certain Scientific Accelerator first, and I was like, oh crap, no wonder why I'm not understanding why half of these references are being made. So I decided to watch the rest of it out of order. But Touma, I'm going to put Touma at... to be honest, I think I'm going to put Touma in the D category. He's not a bad character. I enjoy him. He's fun. He's got very bad luck. He stands up for others. He always tries to help people. I mean, he helps Misaka with her clone arc with Accelerator killing them all. I enjoy his character. He's good. I liked him a lot when I was watching the Railgun series. I was always waiting for him to be around. But the dynamic between Touma and Misaka is really good. I personally don't think he's gonna be that great of a character when the series is all said and done compared for the tier maker. There's a bunch of really, really good characters in this list, and just in this beginning list, and there's probably 2 or 3 more full episodes by the time I'm fully done with every anime I watched thus far. I'm going to put Touma in the D category. He could probably bump his way up to maybe a mid-C by the end of it, but I'm going to put him at the D. I think he's probably towards the top of D, though. Next up is Accelerator from specifically a Certain Scientific Accelerator. Now, for me, I'm going to give you a little spoiler here. I think he's the overall best character in the entire series. If I only had to pick one, or I could only pick one, I would pick Accelerator. I just love his psychotic tendency. He does the thing that I baffled that a lot of more villains don't do in other animes, which is actually be willing to kill people or kill even like the person they're fighting. But for whatever reason, they like toying with them. Accelerator's like, nah, I won't toy with you that much. I'm going to just murder you instantly. I don't have time for that. So I'm going to put Accelerator at the top of A. So looking at the future of the series, I guess, and looking at all the other characters that are coming up, I've decided to actually take Accelerator and move him up to S tier. There's not going to be a whole lot of S tier characters overall. I think there's going to be a bunch more A characters. I think it's fitting to put someone who I really like Accelerator up into S tier. I'm doing this after I recorded the entire video. So what I'm going to do is put a little note on the left side that says Accelerator is in the S tier. He will be in the A tier in the future part of this video, but at the end I will fix it and put him in S tier where he belongs. So the next one's Mikoto Misaka from A Scientific Railgun. I'm going to put her at the B category. Misaka's a great character. She's got great moves. I like her power, obviously, of like shooting electricity and being like a magnet and some other things. She could definitely work on some stuff. She tries to be a great friend. I really enjoy her as a character, but I don't think she's good enough to be in the A category or even where near close to the A. I think at the very max, she'll probably end up being a mid B character or a low B. And the lowest she'll be is maybe like a very high C, but I don't see her really surpass anywhere getting past Accelerator. Maybe if more seasons come out for her show or involve her, she can maybe jump up into A, but I highly doubt it. So as it stands, she's in the B category. So an anime that doesn't get talked about enough, in my opinion, is up next, which my favorite character in Akudama Drive, which is Cutthroat. I really enjoyed Akudama Drive. I think if you haven't watched it, you should definitely watch it. It's about a bunch of criminals take on a mission for a lot of money. It's very, very good. It's very short. I think it's a 12-episode anime. I'd really, really, really recommend it if you haven't watched it yet. I like Cutthroat for the similar reasons as why I like Accelerator. He's a psycho. To be fair, a lot of people in Akudama are psychos. All these villains, I guess you could say. Cutthroat from Akudama Drive in the D category, though. All the characters are enjoyable in Akudama Drive. It's just I don't like them as much as a lot of these other characters. So I'm gonna put them in D category. To be honest, I could put him above Touma, but I'm not going to. I'm going to put him right next to him, though. I don't think he's much lower than a D. I could probably put him in the C category, though, as well, with Touma, but I'm not going to. So next, we have back-to-back sad animes. First, Angel Beats, then we have Anohana, but first is Angel Beats. Angel Beats, we got Yuri Nakamura, who's the very first girl you find the main character wakes up and finds in Angel Beats. I liked her as a character. She's very outspoken. She pushes the team. She makes sure that everybody's okay. She was enjoyable. I'm surprised more people didn't really like her. When I looked on like my anime list, which I look at, I guess, often to see what score people are rating animes and what people like from certain characters, I'm surprised she's not liked more. I don't really see a downside from her. She made the right choice at the end. I'm not going to spoil the ending, however, but I enjoyed her the most, and I don't think it was really close. I'm going to put her in the C category. I don't think she moves out of C, but she can move down towards to D. But to be honest, I think she just stays in that very, very, very low C. And similarly, I'm just going to spoil it right now. And with Anohana, I think I liked Anjou the most. I really felt bad for her because she was chasing the main character, the main guy, and then just never ended up getting with him. I felt bad for her, but I also just liked her as a character. She's a hard worker. She wanted to change just as much as the main characters did. Anohana was probably is the saddest anime I've watched to this point. I highly recommend it, but I've experienced stuff in my life that I would definitely say makes it more touching for me to see. When I saw Anohana, that made me cry even more than most people probably would. I actually have these out of order slightly. So technically alphabetical wise, it should be Angels of Death right before Anohana, but I don't have it for some reason. And this is the guys from Angels of Death. It's Isaac Foster. It's like a psychopath killer. Doesn't have a big brain. He has a good heart when it comes to the end of the show. Very short anime. It's very interesting. I wouldn't say it was an amazing anime or great, but it was an interesting watch. It kept me intrigued throughout. You do feel bad for Isaac because he is a murderer. He's murdered lots of people and wants to go around murdering people. But you can see why he wants to murder people, because he was very poorly mistreated by, I think it was his foster parents. I forget if it was his actual parents or his foster parents. They were complete assholes to him and mistreated him. So you can understand why. You can understand the motives as to why he wants to go around hurting people. But overall, I would put him. I'm gonna have to put him in the F category. He isn't that bad of a character, but likable wise, he's not higher than most of these characters on this list. It's unfortunate because a lot of the characters in this list are pretty high up. Next, we have Koro-sensei from Assassination Classroom. One of the couple, actually. Looks like it's two non-human, I guess you could say, non-human spoiler. He is the human that's turned into this monster because he was tested on. This yellow ball. This guy that's going to go blow up the moon, I think it is. The Assassination Classroom was actually one of the first animes I ended up watching when I started watching anime a little over a year ago. And Koro-sensei immediately became one of my favorite characters and still remains one of my favorite characters in the A category. Another character here that could 100% go to S tier, but it'd be very low S tier. I'm going to put him in the A category. I'm going to put him slightly below Accelerator. Similar idea with Accelerator. He's a murderer, Koro-sensei, and he teaches people how to murder kids. It's a very interesting anime. 100% watch it if you haven't watched it before. At the same time, it's also a very sad one by the end of it. You wouldn't think anime with a weird yellow octopus man would be that sad, but it's very sad at the end. And I actually cried at the end. So I have on my list Attack on Titan, but I haven't watched it yet. Just give you guys a heads up. I'm going to watch it when it finally fully comes out. I'm not going to grind through it all and have to wait for however many more episodes come out for the second part of the final season. I'm going to wait out on that. Next character, though, is from Blend S. And her name, I think, is Kaho. Let me check my notes real quick. Yes, Kaho. The tsundere from Blend S. A nice little maid cafe anime. Very chilled rom-com. It's very enjoyable. She plays a tsundere maid, and she's enjoyable. Now, character-wise, she's probably towards the bottom as well, but she was my favorite character in that show. There's a lot of all the characters in that show are, for the most part, I would say, are enjoyable. But I'm putting Kaho at the top of F currently. She can make her way into the into the D's category, but overall, just an okay character. She's not one of my favorites. Following her in the F category is going to be from bottom tier character Tomozaki. Is going to be Fuuka Kikuchi. I'm curious if they're going to come out with a second season of that, because it definitely looks like they built up for it in the anime. She's a very nice, soft-spoken, shy character. I don't think she'll make it out of F unless there's another season and her character develops. She reminds me of myself, because I don't like talking to people, to be perfectly honest. You could say I'm shy, but I actually don't like talking to people. Like, I physically do not like talking to people usually. She's an okay character. I like her. She's very nice, shy. She always hides when Tomozaki comes around because she likes him and he likes her, to be fair. But overall, I'm not going to move her out of F. Next up, we have Dazai from Bungo Stray Dogs. Fantastic anime. Just got announced recently for a 4th season, and 100% go watch it if you haven't already. 3 seasons and a movie. Dazai's another character that goes in that A tier category and could be an S tier. I'm going to see what happens in the season 4, and I will obviously, by the time that my final video for this comes out, or my whatever ends up happening with this series, at some point he could be S tier because of that 4th season, or even seasons beyond if there is any seasons beyond. Very enjoyable character overall. I like his he just wants to die, but then he's like a fucking badass. His powers are really cool that he can negate other people's powers. Very funny. The suicidal parts, they make it funny. It's obviously not a funny subject, but he's hilarious with it. He's just hilarious all around, and definitely makes the show much more enjoyable than it is. So here is a second amendment to my tier list. I put Dazai in the A tier, and I said that he very well could be an S tier. I'm going to put him in S tier now. Like I said with Accelerator, I think he's a character that could belong in S tier, especially after season 4. But I think as of right now, I'm going to just put him in S tier right now. I don't think his character's really going to drop off at all. And there's going to be a bunch more A characters, and I don't think a lot of these characters belong on the same category as others. So I think he belongs in S. I'm going to put him in S. I will put another note stating that Dazai is S tier throughout the rest of this video, because he's going to be shown in A, but he is actually in S. I will fix it at the very end of the video. The next character is from an anime called Bunny Drop. It's a nice little anime where a little girl is abandoned because her father died, and her mother, I'm going to say, abandoned her. I don't know if that would technically be the right term. And then a family member who is, I think he's like a 30-year-old man with no wife, no family, takes her in, and they just have nice adventures. It's a really nice, wholesome anime. I would recommend watching it. It was a very enjoyable one. For Rin, I think she's a D in the D category. She's not bad. She's enjoyable. She's funny. She's like, I think she's 7 or 8. I think she goes from 7 to like 9 in the anime. She's a pretty good character, but overall, I don't think she moves out of the D category. Throughout the anime, she teaches the main character, the other main character, the old 30-year-old man, I forget his name, various lessons, which is nice. It was a nice little touch. Decent, pretty good anime overall. Next up, we have from Cautious Hero, it's Seiya. I really hope this gets another season because I'm very interested in it. I like the series, or the anime as a whole. Very, very funny, as the title would suggest. Cautious Hero, the hero is overpowered but overly cautious. That's the whole title. Seiya is a great character overall. He is actually very caring. Like he says, he's very overpowered. And literally, I'll spoil the first. I think it's the first episode. Literally, the first episode he spends. He's supposed to be like grinding levels, and he literally spends like half the episode locked inside of a house doing push-ups and pull-ups and sit-ups and getting super jacked. And he basically wants to make sure that he's 100% ready for anything that comes his way. And whenever he kills something, he 100% makes sure that it is killed by casting multiple spells on it, fire spells to cleanse the area around it and everything. Very, very funny. It's actually I think a pretty underrated overall anime. I really enjoyed it. Like I said, I'd love a second season. Overall, I don't know what to put him really. I'm very tempted to put him into B, but I'm going to put him into C for now. By the end of the C, he might be a very low B. I don't think he'd be a higher mid B. Next anime is Classroom of the Elite. Obviously, I would love to see a second season of it, but that's probably never going to happen because only the first season was made, from what I heard, only because to promote the light novel of the series, which is making me really want to start buying some of the manga and the light novels to read them and enjoy the series, because I heard it's a very, very good series. My favorite character from Classroom of the Elite is none other than Ayanokoji. Another character that is fantastic. He's got very, very, very good knowledge. He plans things like 20 steps ahead. You see here that I have two other masterminds, or several other smart people, actually. If you go down the list, I got Lelouch up next. I got L from Death Note. I got Senku from Dr. Stone. I like the smart people, as you can tell. The people that are thinking 20 steps ahead. 100% Ayanokoji belongs in A tier. I like that. He's like me. He doesn't really want to talk to people. Doesn't like talking to people, clearly. He's planning a lot of stuff out in his head, like 20 steps ahead. He's a really, really, really smart. I really love the series of Classroom Elite. I wish it would get a second season, or just even remake it to where it actually follows the manga and light novels, because I heard the main girl character in the show is much dumber actually in the manga than she is in the show, because they're kind of making it seem like she's slightly below Ayanokoji in intelligence. Meanwhile, in the manga, she's actually not that smart. That's what I've heard anyway. But Ayanokoji 100% belongs in A category. I don't think he would make it in S tier. The next anime is Code Geass, and none other than King Lelouch, All Hail Lelouch, Lamperouge, or Lelouch v Britannia, is next. And I don't think I have to even speak about him if you actually watched Code Geass. Easily the best character in the show. Do I even have to say why he's S tier? He's a great character. I like that he's got a little edge of being evil, slightly evil. He's very calculating. He's very smart, like I just stated with Ayanokoji earlier. He tries to plan things out. He did what he set out to do, which was make the British Empire basically crumble, set up a world where his little sister, Nunnally, there we go, I can't even think of the word name, or where his little sister Nunnally could live peacefully. And he got that. He set it out and he did it. He gave up his life to get that accomplished, which is obviously a great thing to do. I'll say at the end there's a little teaser that he's probably still alive actually, because he can't actually be killed, because he gained his dad's Geass and the powers that came with it. And then he and CC can now live forever. He accomplished what he set out to do and did a good job doing it. 100% S tier. He's one of the guaranteed S tier characters. I'm going to say this ahead of time. He's probably my favorite character in any anime I've watched, period. Next up, we have Combatants Will Be Dispatched, and my favorite character in that show is Grim. She claims she can't walk, but she can. She just can't wear, I think, socks and shoes because of the witchcraft or whatever that she performs. It's like a curse that she was brought upon her. Very weird, funny character. She's a lewd, horny-esque character. I think I'm gonna throw her in the D category because every time she was around, she's made the anime more enjoyable, to be perfectly honest. I think I'm going to throw her in the D category. Giggity. Next character is from Darwin's Game. Her name is Shuka. Her ability is she can control. It's like a chain with knives attached to it. She can control it. That's her power in Darwin's Game. She's a character that will do anything for the main character in the show. I forget the main character's name. I'd like to see second season of that show, but by the end, I think they definitely turned the corner on the show, and I definitely think it could be a much better show than it started out as. It was enjoyable, a little boring at times, but I think it started turning the corner to get very, very, very interesting. Apparently, she's a really good fighter. Her fight scenes are pretty decent in the show. I don't think she belongs any higher than a D category character. Next up, we got from Dead Man Wonderland, which is a very disappointing anime in my opinion, Senji. Senji's a cool character. I hated the main character in the show. I don't remember the little kid's name. I understand him being whiny, like a whiny bitch. I fully understand it, but he's just not even an enjoyable character overall. Very, very poor character. Senji's cool. I don't think Senji belongs to anything above an F tier, so I'm just going to throw him an F tier. They had a whole, I think, one special episode where they showed him before he got into Dead Man Wonderland, which is a whole amusement park for criminals, run by criminals, I should say. Here's the police officer using his powers. Pretty cool character overall. I don't think he belongs to anything higher than F. If there's more seasons, maybe I would probably change. And I forget the little girl's name that follows the main character. She'd probably be the best. She's not right now. It's Shinji, and I'm putting him in F. He's okay. Next up is one of the biggest characters in anime. It's Light versus L. I could put both of them up here. I don't think most people would complain. I like them both arguably about the same, but I went with L instead of Light. I like L a little bit more, and like I said, I have this bookmarked specifically for spoilers, so if you don't want to hear spoilers of Death Note, skip this part for the next 30, 40, 50 seconds. Once L dies, obviously the show falls off tremendously, and that's why I'm picking L as my favorite character, hands down. Now, where does L fit into all these other characters? To be honest, I think I could justify putting him into B, and I'm going to, actually. These other characters, A and S, are at a slightly higher level, at least for me, for liking them, compared to L. L is a great character, don't get me wrong. Very, very, very smart. Weird. Just constantly eating sweets. Doesn't look like he sleeps a second of the day. Constantly has his feet up on furniture. He's a very enjoyable character. I'm going to put him in B. He's probably going to be put back up to A. I don't think he's going to be in the S category. Next character up is from Death Parade. Another short anime. I think it's 12 episodes. A lot of these are short animes, as you can see. I'm going to put Decim as my favorite, as you see there. I'm going to put him in the C category. He's kind of learning what living means. He's enjoyable. He does crack an occasional joke. I would say he's the most enjoyable character in the show. There's not a character really that it's like, wow, this character is amazing in that show. But the whole premise of the show is good. And they keep rotating characters in and out because it revolves around people dying and figuring out why they're dying and seeing if they were a bad person or not. He's the judge of their character. Very, very enjoyable show. Highly recommend it. I think he's in the C category. I'll fix the order of everybody by the end. So he's probably not going to be at the bottom of C. Next up, we have from Demon Slayer. I've watched the movie as well. To be honest, if Rengoku, spoiler alert, if Rengoku doesn't die, he's probably going to be my favorite character in the entire show. But he's dead. He's dead. I don't think they're going to show him a lot. Maybe they just do a random ghost appearance or something. But he's not going to really be in the show. I'm going to go with Zenitsu as my favorite currently. And as of right now, he's a C character. He's really cool, obviously, when he's knocked out or sleeping or tired or whatever. Sometimes he'll go out about badass mode when he's actually awake. It's kind of slightly badass mode. Right now, he's just a whiny little bitch. He's getting a little bit better. I hope that the second season of Demon Slayer, he becomes better. Otherwise, this might change to probably Inosuke would be my next favorite. But as of right now, I'm going to say Zenitsu. I think he's a C character. Most of the characters in Demon Slayer are probably falling right in this category. A lot of them are, I would say, similar to my liking. But Zenitsu's got a little edge on them currently. I hope he stops being a whiny bitch, though. He's just really annoying. It's not enjoyable sometimes because it's just too much. You know what's interesting is I actually skipped an anime here. I didn't even notice. I'll either put in the next one or I'll put it in a completely different video. Probably a completely different video at this point. I missed Devilman Crybaby, which I've watched. I missed the main character in that. Sorry, I'm not going to spoil what it is for you. You'll have to see it in a different video. We're going to move on to Dimension W, and my favorite character being this masked, I was going to say hero, but he's now trying to be a hero, and his name's Loser. I actually think Loser sneaks into the B tier category. Dimension W is a very interesting anime. If you haven't watched it, I would recommend watching it. It's very interesting. It's about power, but like they're taking power from a different dimension, Dimension W, and it sometimes causes bad things to happen. Loser's wife was taken from him from using this power from a different dimension. And he spends the anime, he's not even the main character actually, he spends the anime trying to get enough power to try to bring her back and get revenge for the person who caused that to happen. Very, very enjoyable character. I think he sneaks into the B category, which I think will surprise a lot of people. He might dip down into the C category. As of right now, I'm going to put him in B. I really, really liked Loser. He's a nice character. Next character, we got Senku from Dr. Stone, one of my favorite new gen characters. If you haven't watched Dr. Stone, please do. It's so enjoyable. I don't like science, but the stuff he does in the anime is great. You can do half the stuff at home if you want. Some of it's dangerous, by the way, but so don't do it at home. I don't encourage you to, but the anime is super, super enjoyable. I can't wait for season 3, which I'm assuming is going to get announced shortly. Senku's one of my favorite characters. To be honest, I really want to throw him in the S and A category, but as of right now, by the end of his anime, if he gets everything finished from anything written, I think Senku's probably gonna end up in the S tier. I don't see him deviating from that. But as of right now, from season 2, the end of season 2, I'm putting Senku at B tier. Next up, we have the anime Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagatoro. And obviously the main character in that is none other than herself, Nagatoro. I think she falls into the C category. It's one of those funny animes where the girl picks on the guy, teases him a lot, makes fun of him, but she ends up trying to help him out, be nice to him, kind of be a friend to him because the main character is a loser. I think season 2 just got announced, which is really nice. I can't wait for that. I wonder what that's going to go on with it. She's a nice character. I don't think she'll ever be in B category, and unless something bad happens, she'll ever be in D. She's like forever in the C category, unless something weird happens or interesting happens. The teasing's funny. She's a funny character. The show's pretty damn good. It's got some fun. It's very, very funny. I'll put her in C for now. My favorite character in Dorohedoro is Kaiman, as you can see there. This dude, he's involved in some like weird, I forget, like some weird shady-esque stuff, and he dies. Or like, it's some weird thing where like his head gets changed, but he like also dies. And there's like 2 of them running around, and one's got just a big ass body. He's like a big dude, and one's running around normal with his normal body and head, and then one's running around with his body and then this lizard-esque head. He loves gyoza. He likes the fight scenes in there are pretty cool. I wish Dorohedoro actually did more with the story because I'm intrigued. I hope it cuts to season 2. I don't know if it's gotten confirmed yet or not. I'm going to put him in D category. If Dorohedoro continues to be entertaining, I think it's honestly trending in the right way. It needs more explanation as to Kaiman's backstory and how he got the way he is and what he is trying to do. But as of right now, he's a D level character. And the final character is from, you can say, a sad anime. I wouldn't really say it's really sad. Something like Angel Beats or Anohana, 2 of my saddest animes I've watched, and they're both on this list right here in the middle of the C. But the final ones are from the anime Erased. This character is called, it is Satoru Fujinuma. I picked I think he's 30, 31, something like that. About a 30-year-old man here. Satoru Fujinuma. He has some weird Life is Strange-esque ability where whenever he sees, I think it's like a blue butterfly or something like it. He sees something, he might get rewinded back a couple minutes or a couple hours or whatever it ends up being, and he has the potential to save someone or help someone out or change the outcome of whatever happens around him. Well, he ends up using this ability to go all the way back in time and save people from getting murdered by, and that's why I timestamped this. If you don't want spoilers, skip forward a little bit. He saves a couple of his classmates from getting murdered by his teacher, who is a psychopathic murderer, and ends up getting him caught. So that's really cool. He goes from when he's 30 to like when he's, I think, like 10, 11, 12, something around those lines. I forget. Yeah, it's his birthday. Very enjoyable anime. I'd recommend it if you haven't watched it yet. I'm going to put him in the C category, and he's the final person I'm putting into any category for this video specifically. So from top to bottom, I'm going to put the characters in order. I'm going to move Senji to ahead of Fuuka Kikuchi. So the bottom's going to be Kaho, Isaac Foster, Senji, Fuuka Kikuchi. In the D tier, it's going to be, I'm going to put Touma at the very top of D, then Cutthroat, then Asuka, Kaiman, Grim, Rin. C tier will be Anjou, I forgot how to pronounce her name, Yuri, Seiya, Zenitsu, Nagatoro, Dekum, and the main guy from Erased, Satoru Fujinuma. B tier will be L, Senku, Misaka, Loser. And with the updated A tier and S tiers, I have Koro-sensei, followed by Ayanokoji. And the S tier will be Lelouch, Accelerator, and Dazai. So if you guys made it to the end of the video, don't forget to drop a like, subscribe, comment what you think of this video, comment your opinions of the characters and where they belong in a tier list. Like I said, I stream at Twitch. I did this live on Twitch at twitch.tv/MyReactions. Love to see you there. Drop a follow, hang out. I play mainly multiplayer shooters, but I play just about any video game I can get my hands on. And this is my tier list. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.